Welcome back to Desire to Inspire. It's your mama's favorite podcast. I'm tired as fuck.
But you got the energy, so that's all that matters, baby.
Not yet. I haven't had any caffeine today. And I feel like it's not that I don't have energy. I just feel like I'm not all the way awake yet.
Yeah. Winston got his little
Nuts cut off?
Yep. So he kept the fam up last night, but it's all right. The dude's in recovery, and I can't imagine going through that.
The dude's in recovery. That sounds so bad.
Can't imagine going through what he's going through.
I mean, one day you're probably going to, right? You didn't think you're ever get your snipped? Damn, bro.
Never thought I had.
I mean, my brother did.
Really?
So, yeah.
Damn. You guys really are on two different playing fields of life.
I know, man.
Yeah, I guess, one day that will happen. But now he's rocking the cone, and he does not understand the concept of it. He'll get up, he'll hit one thing, and then he'll just kind of stand there and be like, what the fuck do I do now?
Seeing him showed me just how big of a pussy Ziggy really is.
Why?
Dude, Ziggy wouldn't move with that cone on. He would just lower his head and he would just lay down. That was the first time I ever tested leaving him out of a cage because I knew he wouldn't move. And I came back, he was in the exact same spot. He tried to walk when he first got it on, bumped into a counter, jumped up in the air and just started banging into everything. And I was like, this is too much movement for you right now. You can't be doing this, dude.
Yeah, Wynn did not move at all the day it happened. So yesterday. But as you saw, he had some energy today when he saw you because he came trying to run down the steps.
He was trying to pick up a toy.
Oh, was he?
With the cone on, but the cone was on the ground. And he's just right over top of it. Just out of reach.
Deck is so confused. He's like, why can't he play with me? Why won't you guys let me see him? So we've been taking him out at separate times and shit. But it's the joys of life.
I'm just thinking I can't wait to see the timestamps for this says it's talking about getting nuts snipped.
There was a couple of good timestamps. I think last week's episode or the week before that you had said some things I can't really remember, but they made me die laughing.
Sometimes they're fun, and sometimes I forget. I'm like, fuck. I forget, it sucks. So I have to go back all the way through.
Yeah, that is tough.
I try to remember to do it while I'm recording because I'm watching it at the same time. Or not while I'm recording, while I'm editing. My words aren't all the way there yet.
It's all right. We're getting it together. Cheers for some coffee.
Cheers. You're slurping today, huh?
Maybe. Speaking of editing and stuff like that, what do you think is more important? Quality over quantity or quantity over quality in terms of promoting the podcast? So we have the main podcast, obviously the long form content. When it comes to short term content, do you think quantity over quality right now or quality over quantity?
Do you mean quality in terms of what we're saying?
Yes.
The look of it?
Mm-mm. What we're saying.
Quantity.
Okay.
We're not, first of all, though, I mean, I see big podcasts where they have some dumb clips up.
Yeah.
They're just putting out just to put out.
Yep.
Which, I mean, some episodes you're going to have that, though. Some episodes it's okay, what am I going to clip? 2 things here?
Yeah.
When we used to do clips and I used to pull them individually, I would only pull 1 each.
Yeah.
But I feel like at this point, you just got to throw them out. The TikTok views are up.
Bro. 149 plus likes.
I was like, well, I know. I saw sometimes I'll see a random one like that, but then I saw multiple and I clicked on the page and everything was over 1,500-1,600 views. I'm like,
yeah, going up. And so as I've been telling you, I'm studying the game more. I'm looking into it. What did we come up with instead of the cobweb?
I don't think we did.
Okay, so it's still a cobweb.
Cobwebs just, I don't even think we talked about it on air. Cobwebs sound like they're dirty and they need cleaned out. I get what you're saying. It's like some kind of a web.
Dylan thought I was like an NDTI or something, clearing out the cobwebs.
Clearing out the cobwebs. What are we in the attic and they're just in the corner? They've been there for a decade. But I get what you're saying. I think it's it might just be a spider web in general, though. The cobweb, it just has a negative connotation.
Yeah, and the way that I was thinking of it is cobwebs are built on layers or built out from each other, and then there's this one center point that has all of these different things coming off of it. So as I've been expanding on my thoughts so that way we can continue our conversations on the back end, I've been looking into a lot of things. I've been listening to the new Gary Vee book where he talks about like social media and how it doesn't matter if you have 100 followers or $100 million.
To a book, dude?
Yep.
Have you ever listened to a book before?
All the time.
Oh, I don't think I've ever listened to a book in my life.
Really? Oh yeah, I love Audible. I have a monthly subscription. So I've been doing that, and then just really, really brainstorming with the twins a lot lately on just direction, habits, patterns, things that people are saying in podcasts that they're listening to. And so I asked that because as I was editing this past weekend, I was like, what's more important, quantity over quality, quality over quantity? And I was like, I think quantity right now, but what can I do to enhance that? So the platform that we use to get our clips, they just came out with like 5 new features where I can actually go through now. And that's why I was like, if you need timestamps, it lays everything out by certain minutes, and then we can delete all of the like misfit stuff in the middle. But it allows you to now
YouTube says that it does. So like, when I edit it, it says, do you want like auto captions and auto, like it names it something else, chapters maybe. And it's clicked on, but it never like shows them. Maybe it does at the bottom of the screen. Maybe I'll like have to actually go in and watch the video and see like does it. Because like you know like how if you watch like a big podcast and like you pause it, you can see like at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like along the bar. I wonder if ours does that. I've never really looked.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never looked
at
at
that. But it's on auto generate.
So
I don't know if it actually does, but I just go through and do it because I'm already editing it anyways.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. So as I was editing it, now I can go through, and even if I hate the section that it clips, I can now go back, find a section that I like, and be like, all right, cool, this is good enough. But what I was also thinking is like moving forward, a lot of these podcasts, like big podcast platforms, on their TikTok, they have a cover photo and then they have a catchy thing. So that way when people go to their page, they're like, oh, what the hell? And whether it's controversial or like a very hard point on something like a creatine. The creatine episodes, people are like, you're fucking stupid. It doesn't cause hair loss. But there's an extension to that. If
someone just said something about something being debunked today, and I was wondering what it was, and that could have been it.
What did they say?
There was a new comment on YouTube because they come to the email and it said like, this has been debunked. And I didn't know what video they were referring to, but that would actually make sense.
Yeah, because that episode just went up on YouTube this week. Yeah. And there's extensions of it, of why it causes it. And so putting things like that, that'll get people to click and be like, what is this about now that I'm on their page? And so with...
Yeah, you don't have to actually click on random just pictures of us.
Yeah. That are just like...
what the hell we're talking about.
Oh, so that's a way that they as in our clips can get better, is doing the cover photos next with the title, seeing how that does. Not only that, but maybe adding some music to the background. But with all that comes more time, in the sense of now we can't set them up in a platform to automatically post, because now we have to do that. We have to stay up on it. And so it's just finding that rhythm, finding that groove. Same thing with like our YouTube. So the YouTube views, I mean, they help because we're constantly getting new subscribers, but they're nowhere near how TikToks are. And so one thing that Gary Vee talks about a lot in this book is that most people think that you can take one piece of content and paste it everywhere on every single social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And he talks about why that isn't the case and why you have to tailor certain things. And he's like, I'm not saying that you can't take the same clip that you have on TikTok and put it on Instagram. I'm saying that the way you edit it has to be a little bit different, whether it's the lettering that's in on TikTok or Instagram versus TikTok, whether it's adding music to it versus not adding music to it. He's like, you really have to look at what are people doing on those platforms to then dive in to be like, all right, I understand this a little bit and see how it goes. And so I'm finding it very interesting about all of this. And I think it's weird that it's all coming at a time where we're starting to talk about it a lot, to just how do we constantly improve, not necessarily change what we're doing, but just get better and be similar to those people that are already established and building out these massive platforms that they have.
I don't know when it became a social media podcast, but we've been talking about it a while.
I think it's just because it's so like relevant in our lives. And I think that we're both getting not only more consistent, but we're getting into it a little bit more, that we want to see results from what we're doing versus just like posting to post.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time posting to post in the years.
Yeah. And so I feel like now things are a little bit more intentional than they might have been. And I think you even used that word like 2 episodes ago.
Do you ever look at like people we've had on's content? Like people we've had on the podcast content?
Why are you asking this?
I looked at Matt's yesterday, the carnivore one.
Yeah.
I went through his reels just like, because he'll post like just him talking to the camera like with food or like about something.
His meals are crazy, by the way.
So I just went onto his reels because I was curious on Instagram. Like, I was like, he got like 23,000 followers. Did not have that when we had him on.
No.
Like, so he's
Dude, he might have had like 300.
I know.
Shout out to you.
His number one pinned reel had 1.2 million views.
Jesus.
And it's no joke, just him talking about his meal. It's like, I used to eat cereal and this, and I looked like this. Now here's what I eat, and I look like this. And then he just breaks down his breakfast. He said, this is what I eat for breakfast. I was like, no fucking way, dude.
Did he have a strong title, like, even if it was just like carnivore diet or the
honestly,
way?
I didn't even look at it.
So I'm curious because
the picture was just him.
It was only a picture,
just like him holding the food.
Oh,
and then like once you, but like there was no like like words on the picture itself. You click it and then like he starts talking.
So he calls them, it's not caveats. There's a word that he uses.
You're talking about like the overlay of the word itself?
No.
On a cover photo?
No. Gary Vee breaks it down. Oh, what the fuck is his name?
Glad this book's sinking in, bro.
Too many thoughts are going through this little brain this early. I'll figure it out. But he calls them, let's just say, topics for now, because it essentially is a topic. But it's like diving into it. So you're a runner. You post running content. But instead of just posting running content, what can you do to gravitate people towards you that you actually truly want to reach? So, yes, it would be great to reach 5-year-olds to 105-year-olds in running.
I don't think I want to reach 5-year-olds.
You remember those like fucking walkathons and shit we used to do back in the day? They got more energy than we do, so.
Who?
Them little 5-year-olds.
Not more than me. Let's go run for hours and see who's still going after the end.
I'll be with the 5-year-old.
Not that 5-year-old. Like, not me and you, me and a 5-year-old. I'm out work that kid every day.
Yeah, you will.
Fuck them kids.
Oh, God. But he talks about, so like, if you said 30-year-olds in Charlotte, whatever, and like that was your thing, it will gravitate more people to then. So that's why I asked what Matt's thing was. Like, did he have carnivores or?
Well, I mean, he's talking about carnivore.
But I just wonder, like, he's got a pretty solid like thing that he focuses on, and I'm wondering if that's why he's seeing that 100%. Drive. And so,
also he was branded that way. His whole was that way when he first came on. It was a carnivore PT.
Yep.
And now it's like, I don't know, his name fit or something like that. But it's like he's even changed now.
Yeah.
But that was his whole thing pushing at the beginning was carnivore.
Yeah. So I think finding that to, again, gain traction and movement. And we're going to stitch this fucking word in here because it's the chapter I'm on right now in the book. But I think finding those in your lane, my lane, to hone in and capitalize on a central thing. Not that it always has to be that way, but again, how can we gauge and
is it avatar? Is that the word you're looking
No.
for? Because I've heard that word used a lot in this space, in this context.
No, it's not avatar.
Okay.
I think it begins with a C, but I'll figure it out.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just fascinating. It's interesting because it's one of those things too where everybody has an opinion, everybody has a voice, everybody has ideas that are all like, wow, that kind of makes sense. Like, I get it. Like, one person was talking about how likes and views don't matter as much as shares and saves. And then they say that
in terms of the algorithm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that the people that are sharing and saving it are the people that are truly vested in your content and the things that you're saying. So the videos that people are sharing and saving, focus on those more versus focusing on the likes. Because the likes are good, but those are people that are just like scrolling through like, okay, I'll tap this, scroll through. If somebody's liking or sharing your content, then that more than likely means that they're going to your other, your other post, your other platforms, your main page, whatever it is. So it's just,
that's what's hard though, is there is so many people saying so much shit about it. But,
so much.
But it's always changing. That's the thing, is like, you could read this book and it's different in a month. That's what's insane about the landscape. It's like it can just change. All they have to do is update the algorithm one time, and everything he's talking about is done.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He's like, I'm writing this book right now in January of 2024. Just so you know, if you're reading this book X amount of time from now, this might not be relevant at all. But right now in this given time, this book is extremely relevant, and we will dive into why it is. But ultimately, man, it comes down to finding your passion around something, being consistent with it, and then just completely diving in and going all in on that. And you'll see and yield those results. But again, most people, as we know, start something, they don't finish it, start something, stop it, start something, stop it again. And so again, it's having that consistency, but also realizing like the content you're creating is in content business, whatever you want to consider it. We're talking about content now, so we'll use it in this term, but the content that you're creating should be something that you're truly passionate about. Most people are doing something because they think the masses are going to gravitate towards it, or they're going to like it, or they saw somebody else be successful from it. But if you're not doing something you're not passionate about, you're not going to stick to it. No matter how successful you are in the beginning, the middle, the end, you will not stick to it if you're not fully vested in what you're doing.
That's how burnout happens. You just constantly are doing something you don't even like. You're not into it, so you're just doing it to do it. And then you're going to get burnt out and stop making content, which... Been there.
Yeah, we, especially early on, I feel like because we were getting pushed to do stuff that made us uncomfortable.
And it's like what I talked about, I don't know, last week or 2 weeks ago. I felt like I needed to like educate these people as a coach. I felt like I needed to say something like profound and give them some kind of knowledge to take away. And I realized that ain't me. That's not what I can do it, and I'll do it in a different setting. I'll do it in coaching. I'll do it here.
When they're your client.
But I'm not going to do it. Nobody wants that in a 45-second video. Yeah. I don't want to make that in a 45-second video. I just want to make me run around with a quote on the screen. And it's crazy, though, the way that it changes, because I used to never want to post videos. I was like, dude, posting videos is so much harder. And now I barely post photos because I'm like, posting photos is so much harder. Yeah. How many photos can I take of me running?
Yeah.
Unless, like, someone's with me every single day. Because if not, I just have to set up a camera and go take a picture of me standing on a damn trail.
And too, that video gives that viewer, gives that person a time to connect with you and like truly get like, oh, I'm going to back this guy, or I'm going to get behind this guy. If people see a photo of you constantly, and I'm just going to reference like the gym post you do or the watch picture, like people just skip through that. But if you're talking or you say something or you got a funny quote, like as you're running, people are like, oh shit. So they see those gym and the watch to like motivate them to be like, all right, I'm going to go and get mine. Or they're going to be like, fuck off, Dylan, stop posting this. But that, either way, thank you. But they see those videos and then they're like, oh, I get his humor. I get his comedy now. Like that's going to make me want to be more vested into his content, things like that. So
you're a person, not just that photo.
Yep.
Which is the problem with a lot of people is you just don't humanize it. Like people aren't humanized on social media, which is the benefit that we do have. Is it especially with quantity over quality?
Yeah,
they get to see every wrong of us. Because if we went with quality, we'd probably just pull the clips that we thought were going to perform well based off of either they're funny or we're saying something good at them.
And wait, who are we to even know what is or isn't what like? I can't tell you how many times we've posted a video like, "Fuck, this isn't," and next thing you know, it's our most viewed one or our most liked one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so especially in
throw them all out there.
Yeah, the spot that we're in, because again, it would be one thing if we're just like have something clipped and then we just throw it out there without looking at it, and it's like, what the fuck was this even posted for? But there's some sort of something behind every post. I would like to think,
and you see them before they go up. Like if one's that bad, it's not going out. Because some of them pull at weird times. Like I've seen ones where I'm like, why did this start at this part of the sentence?
Yeah, and now that we have the capabilities to like actually change it, before we didn't. Right. All we could do is delete text, so that way it didn't say some of this stuff. But now we can actually go into the video and pull something new, which is
that's crazy that they didn't have that all the time.
I know.
That's just what's posting.
Yeah, you could only delete. You couldn't add any text. You couldn't nothing.
Weird.
So it's cool. It's fun. And I just think it's interesting to kind of view it and look at it in the sense of like really analyzing it and diving into what our platforms are generating, what they're doing. And so now it's even kind of like, how do we take that a step further? And maybe it's looking into like the analytics of why did this podcast have 50 views versus this one had 6 views? Or why did this video have 30,000 views? Because we just got one that had 30,000.
30,000?
Yeah.
On what?
On TikTok. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. It was
a new one or an old one?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah. I think it had like over 500 likes.
Can you guys tell who paid attention? I really barely go on TikTok. I have to force myself to go on because I need to go like our posts.
Thank you.
Like I should just go on.
If you can't let the time run a little bit too, so that way.
I go when I'm on the toilet.
Love that. Love that.
Plus, I like to see what's getting clipped. And then I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, we said that?
Yeah, there'll be some where I'm like, all right, this one's really Dylan heavy, but fuck it, we're posting. Then there'll be some where it's really me heavy, and I'm like, fuck, I got to find some of Dylan.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, but it just like kind of alters back and forth.
Every single episode.
Yep, as we should.
Yeah. I mean, we be talking for like 5 minutes straight sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even realize that I could do that until I watch the podcast. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude.
You think that you could do a solo podcast?
I've done a couple.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. Like how Theo Von does it.
I don't think I could do it like that. I don't think I could be funny on a solo podcast.
Just serious?
Yeah, I think like it would have to be like I'm talking about a topic. Like kind of like how Nick Bear does, where he'll have something he's talking about and then he'll break it down. My dude also got to have notes sitting there.
Has to.
I don't ever watch his video.
And I think
it's kind of crazy, but I never watch his video of his podcast.
I've only watched it in the gym once because the TV was out there
mm-hmm.
and I needed my stopwatch on my phone. So I put his video on. But I think he does because he just had a lady on recently. And
he has notes pretty much for everybody. But I think like for those like individual ones, he got to have an entire outline. But yeah, he said like it was the least amount of notes he ever had.
Yeah, he was like, I only got 5 bullet points. Mm-hmm. And they started laughing about it. But thank you for bringing Nick Bear up because Dead East, oh my God.
You know that's the race we want to do?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I was watching that. And, like, I was getting, like, jitters in my stomach.
Tom texted me. He said, dude, I'm 4 minutes into Dead East, and I could run through a fucking wall.
But, like, it really put into perspective to me, like, you have to have a solid-ass team. Mm-hmm. Not just the runners. The mm-hmm. drivers.
Everybody.
People on the bus. I loved how that one dude just kept popping in and out and running miles with the team. He wasn't a part of their group, but he would pop in and out and just run some miles with every one of the runners.
I don't even know how we get in. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I have no idea how we even get involved.
I don't know.
And it's not like it's far away. It's like...
Because he made a call in the beginning.
I know.
Saying, I want to get in. I think we have a team that can do it. Where's that number?
They don't even have a website.
I know.
They literally don't have a website. There's nowhere to register. There's nowhere to do anything.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know if we have a team. Nah, I think we have a team.
That one guy that was running with Phil that one day needs to be on it. He would be like one of their teammates, the guy that wore the hat.
He hasn't been coming around a lot.
Really?
He actually got hurt, so he's swimming. He's real swim heavy right now.
All right.
I mean, we have 3 guys. I think we have 2 girls, though, too. And they're fast.
Yeah. Their time was like 6:15.
Like, these girls, marathons are faster than me in tones.
Damn.
So we could be moving. Oh, you mean their pace was like 6:15?
Their pace. I know. Yes.
That's the best. So, like, when I first heard about it, which for those of you who don't know, I feel like we've mentioned on here, but we should at least, like, give some context.
Yeah.
It's a race from LA to Vegas. There's no route. There's no anything. So, like, you basically make up your own route.
What's it called?
The Speed Project. And it could be anywhere from like 300 to 340 because you make your own route.
Yep.
But it's 4 guys, 2 girls on an OG team. That's just what they call it because that's the first people who did it, which just started by a group of people who just wanted to go. Like they wanted to see if they could do it. And so then it just evolved from there. But, yeah, so like when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, so everybody just runs like 50 miles. And then I saw it happening. I'm like, oh, you go like 3 miles, 3 miles, 3 miles. Like,
then 2, then 1.
And just go like, so you can keep moving quick. But I mean, even that, you're getting 25 miles of rest.
Yeah.
Every time. But it's going to catch up. In the beginning, you're probably feeling fresh for like half a day.
Yeah.
And
They
then
had 2 RVs, 2 Jeep trucks,
mm-hmm.
and then their whole camera crew, and then they had some people on the bus to like keep the energy high, make sure people are fueling, getting them the stuff that they need.
They had to get the Jeeps because the RVs couldn't go off. But I was also thinking, so that would be where it's rough. When you've got the team just crammed in these Jeeps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just imagine running 3 miles and hopping in the back of a Jeep with 3 other guys.
And they're rocking back and forth because they're going through this rough terrain. It is wild. I mean, I don't know what possesses people to do that, but I took...
As I'm talking about how I want to do it.
Well, and I think this will... Like, anybody that hears that, running from Cali to Vegas, 340 miles, no trail, no people guiding you, no nothing, no aid stations.
Literally no... Like, it's not even a sanctioned race. If you get stopped, you have to tell the cops, no, me and a group of friends just decided we were going to try to do this run.
Yeah,
like, you can't even, like, say that you're with the race.
It's so crazy. But it came full circle at the end when they were talking about doing hard things. Like, Nick Bear wrote on his arm or has that tattoo of go one more. And then for, like, one of his races, he was like, you fucking can't. It's about challenging yourself and having that adversity, I guess you could say, like in your life and these challenges that you do to realize like your potential is greater than you think it is. Mm-hmm. What you can do is greater than what you think you can do. And if you push the limits, you will take more out of life. And so like even seeing that, I almost texted you like, bro, I'm going to start running a mile every single day like you do for the remainder of the year. Like, let's go. And like it just amps you up because why do I hate running? Because it's fucking hard to me because I hate it. It's boring. I'm in my head. But again, after that half marathon, I took a lot away. During that training, I took a lot away. I did something.
You could do a full with Justin.
I'm not even saying what I thought yesterday. But you take a lot away from doing hard things, hard things, challenging yourself, and just pushing the limits. Same thing when I was talking about skydiving. Scared the shit out of me, but afterwards I was like, I think I'm in a different life, like a different world.
A different life.
It was so exhilarating. It was insane. But again, what can that next challenge be? What can that next thing be? I see Chad prepping for his Iron Man, I think he's doing. Mm-hmm. And he just got his wetsuit.
Half. Oh, did he?
Yeah. He just got it yesterday.
I was thinking that I had mine, but I think I sold it. I was like, damn, I would have just gave him mine.
Yeah, I think you did sell it.
Yeah.
But again, people push the boundaries, push the limits, and challenge yourself because there is something out there. You are so complacent in life right now because you're not challenging yourself. You're not making yourself uncomfortable. Go out there and make yourself fucking uncomfortable to see what you are capable of and to get that drive and passion back in your life. There's nothing more to it. And so again, what can I do to get that feeling again?
Run?
I don't know about that.
I was going to ask you like how life is after this challenge. Like, do you feel like you're still in it or do you need to do something else?
I'm glad you asked this. I don't know if I have an answer, but I have been thinking about it. I feel like I always need something to chase.
Me too.
I can go through the motions.
Do you think that's healthy? Because I think about this a lot. The fact that I can't just chill and maintain, that I constantly have to have a goal or else I'm off the rails.
Do I think it's healthy? I don't know.
I don't think it's healthy. I mean, I think that it's the healthier alternative to what would happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a healthy mindset to have. Because eventually what's going to happen? Am I always going to be able to chase something else?
Yeah. Because, like, when I'm not chasing something, it's not like I completely derail and I just live a lifestyle completely different than what I preach or what I talk about. That is not the case at all.
Same, but I'm not motivated to do anything. I have to, like, really force myself. It's like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah. I saw my buddy Josh. Shout out to Josh Ward. Actually, while we're doing this, might as well pull these out. Do a little sponsor time.
I might need to crack one soon.
All right.
Fucking room temp energy drink.
As you guys know, best supplements in the game. First Form, brand new, limited edition energy drinks that they came out with for the summertime. I guess they release these once a year. Sorry, you're already too late, but if you saw my story and got some, you got in on time. Dylan and I got 2 cases each of these. Very excited to try them. I have not yet.
I might be here on the next episode. So
there we go. Yeah, we will open them on the next episode. But go out there, get your supplements, and push the limits with them. Now back to what I was going to say. My buddy Josh just competed, and I say my buddy. Hopefully he would consider me his buddy.
If you got to say that, I don't know.
I met him through one of my friends, and we've remained in contact, but we're not we don't hang out and stuff like that. But he is just, I think they call him at First Form. He is their warehouse director or something like that. So every shipment that goes out, the return label has his name on it. They call him the warden because his name is Josh Ward. They call him the warden because of just how disciplined and dialed and just a freak of an athlete he is. And he's kind of, I would say, that hybrid build like Nick is, does both strength training and running. But he just completed something. I don't believe it was in CrossFit, but he completed this challenge. And
is it High Rocks?
What is that?
That's it's not similar to CrossFit, I want to say, but it's more like that style of training where it's functional and strength thing. It's what Matt does that he was talking about when he was on.
It could have been that.
And I feel like it's since Matt talked about it, I'd never really heard about it. And now I see a lot of people starting to compete in it.
Yeah. There's running components to it. Mm-hmm. There's carrying something. Yep. So that was it. I'm going to say it was. And he was in, say, 4th after the first little round of stuff. But then he kept first the entire time. Ran an extra loop because he missed the exit of the thing, and because of that he placed 3rd or 4th in nations or whatever this big tournament was. But it looked fun, and I was like, that might be something that I could get into. So I want to look into it more and dive into it more. It's completely different than
I think you'd probably like that type of stuff.
Yeah. So maybe that, I don't know. I'll put that out in the universe. I'll get more educated so that way I can talk more on it. But seeing that, I was like, dude, that's pretty fucking exciting.
Even if it's not that, it sounds similar. So I do know a couple guys who do it that we can at least talk to.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So maybe we can even get Josh on. I don't know if he likes doing this kind of stuff, but he's always posting on social media. He's very motivational, inspiring because he, again, is a freak athlete. So he does really well in the events that he does. But we'll see if we can get him on the podcast just to talk about his journey and even his why. I think he's got a good story about why he's in fitness and why he pushes it and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that could be what I challenge myself with, but we'll see.
Check it out.
Yeah. You want to do the outro today? You got it in you?
I like outros. All I want to say is see you later. I'm not an outro
guy. Before I forget, since we just talked about supplements, since we talked about good life habits on this, since we talked about social media, all this stuff, go out and support our other sponsors. You support them, they support us. Athletic Brewing Co. Dylan will pop up the link. Best non-alcoholic beer in the game. Not only that, but it's the biggest, baby. So get behind it, get some, try it, order online, 20% off. And then the sun is out, the sun is shining. Optic fucking nerve. Go and get your sunglasses. Here's the link as well below. Thank you guys for watching. Go after and tackle your dreams. Do not let people stop you or hinder you from thinking that you are incapable of or not in the right space that you want to tackle. Your views are your views. Their views are theirs. And not everyone's going to support you. That's what I've learned in this journey so far, is that most people are like, I need the closest people around me to support me, to push me. You will have some of that, but also you won't have some of that through those people. But what's important is finding your purpose, finding your why, to then go out and push that message, push that direction, so you don't get that burnout, so you don't get stagnant in life, and you can continue to chase those things that you are truly passionate about. And with that, have the desire to inspire. Kiss your mama, tell her we said hello, and we'll talk to you soon.